ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of the historic gaming Getae campaign, where we trudge across the ancient world, sacking cities and intimidating the Romans and annihilating them ruthlessly, I might add. We've done great work against the Romans thus far in this campaign, capturing all of Italy, Sicily, and Magna Graecia. However, our work is far from complete as the Romans still remain at large. They still remain a prominent power, particularly in North Africa and Hispania. Sicily is constantly getting bombarded by Roman raids here. I mean, Panormus and Acarus has been lost to me an untold number of times. I mean, I can't even count the sheer number of assaults I've had to weather to the Romans that are slashing out from Carthage. They're once a great foe, but simultaneously, we just conquered Massalia. Massalia fell to us last stream. We had Narbo right under siege as well, and we should be able to take that without too many problems. There was a slave rebellion here in Illyria, and we do want to wipe it out, although I strongly suspect that Dacia is going to fall to these rebellious scumbags soon enough. These Illyrian raiders might not be the best troops, but they do outnumber me a lot. Same time, forget, were we at war with the Bosporan Kingdom? I don't think we are anymore. No, War of the Bosporan Kingdom is over. Yeah, there we go, and they've been reduced to like one settlement anyway. They are pretty much gone. I do remember that the Suebi decided to cancel their diplomatic treaties with us. I suppose that we've both grown too large for our own good. So that leaves Macedon as my sole defensive ally. And then I have a string of these military alliances, but they're with weaker factions. We do have significantly more resources than the Suebi, though, so it's not like we can't just beat them if we need to. It's just we also don't have a ton of income. But yeah, from what I remember, we were making an army here in Malva, trying to harness the very best of the Dacian people into what should be a quite formidable army. Wanted to get some horse archers. Let's see, we already have a lot of these Falksmen. Yeah, let's get 2 of these guys. Just really try to make this army something that can hit hard. Something worth talking about. And you know what? Before I play out this battle, I do want to just quickly grasp these upgrades, because if we don't use the upgrades, then we win another battle, which would typically get us upgrades. We won't actually get them. So, pretty important. Now, this army I'm using, it's not the best force I can possibly have. I mean, over half of it, I'd say, is made of kind of old technology Dacians, but I did kind of realize that my more elite troops are so freaking expensive. They're so expensive. It costs like 2 times the amount that old tech Getae used. And you know what? When I initially invaded Italy, I was winning battle after battle after battle with my old troops. So I just thought to myself, like, why should I have basically no income and only use these new tech Getae? It just, the trade-off is not entirely worth it. But in any case, the Romans don't have hoplites in their garrison, so I think a more... Wait, actually, fuck, these aren't the Romans, these are Massalians, bro! Yeah, we do have hoplites. I thought I was fighting the Romans for 1 second. I just spaced out, bro. That ain't good. That ain't good. We can't exactly directly charge these guys head on and not take any casualties, but I still think it could be very successful. And the Massalians are erroneously not guarding their own flanks here, so yeah, I think that this can go very well. Now, these Massalian ships are actual, like, professional naval units, so they may actually get to my flank pretty quickly, but I think it's just good to go hit fast against these hoplites, just wipe them out with haste.
We hunger for blood and battle!
Great cavalry, I just charge him with some fucking Falxes, I think. Falxmen do pretty well against cavalry. Of course, they hit really hard in the charge. So I think that we quickly start killing these horsemen, these middle-class men of Massilia, but they can ill afford to lose in such a lopsided battle. And yeah, over here, I really just need to fucking guys. I don't see any missile support here. So. Falksmen on the flanks, swordsmen in the center. We destroy these guys. These guys we just kind of outflank a little bit. The outflank should murder those hoplites very, very quickly. But they're completely surrounded by Falksmen. That is not a good position to be in. The men of the phalanx should be going down with great speed, far greater speed than they can possibly stomach. So they will absolutely wreck these. This cavalry are dead. Their efforts are utterly wasted. Now this hoplite, we can outflank him.
They will bleed for us.
Oh yeah, I think if I just throw my men in here, we can destroy these hoplites. The enemy kept way too many men in reserve, I can tell you. Like, typically, it's prudent to have some sort of reserve force. But when you're going up against overwhelming force, like the kind of army that I presented to the Massalians, is not going to go particularly well, I can tell you that. And yeah, I mean, just hoplite after hoplite is breaking. Hoplite after hoplite. Enemy cavalry is not sufficient enough to intercept the ravaging I'm giving these hoplites. Instead, cavalry is actually just going to die because of a lack of general support, and man, just across the field, the Massalians are getting routed. Of course, those Massalian Marines are not the same caliber as my dainty troops, so we should be able to absolutely wipe them out. But it's not like the enemy are completely done. We still have a lot of men left, but I can tell you that they're definitely not in great positions. They've lost a lot of troops here. And the losses continue to pile up as engagement after engagement is to our favor. Now the enemy are starting to shower us with missiles, which is not ideal. My men are not capable of handling getting shot at all too much. I mean, that much should be obvious. Raising Falksmen, after all, they don't have any armor or shields.
Our general is under attack.
But then also over here, there's just a bunch of freaking archers that are just unsupported. The one supporting unit here, which actually contains an enemy general, is just running. So, cowardly general to run from such a thing. Enemy cavalry has been routed here as well, which is not ideal. And yeah, let's send some of my hard-hitting, more elite troops to go wipe out those archers. That should definitely do the trick. These hoplites, they are going to get surrounded and pounded. We haven't really got the opportunity to use our javelin men, but I see a hoplite over here, which we can probably obliterate in mere moments with showers of the javelins. Javelins, you know, we don't have the best range, we don't come in the best numbers, but when you collectively smack a unit like this, it just obliterates it. Like, the unit just dies. It's like pressing Alt F4 on a unit, basically. Like, that's the advantage of javelins. And yeah, at this point, we should just be able to basically overwhelm the enemy. Although they have a lot of missiles here, man. They have a lot of missiles, so we just gotta kind of run in and murder these guys. There really isn't a whole lot of strategy that needs to be employed. We just need to run at this humongous blob. We also just managed to get rid of the enemy naval general, so that was somewhat of an impact on morale, I would guess. Using determination, and yeah, we just keep on running in here. We just keep on running at the enemy, doing a damage in abundance. Gotta kill these guys. Gotta let them have it. And now we're gonna be running in without. My assumption is that Dacian Falksmen, you know, warriors who train virtually their entire lives to engage in a very barbaric form of combat, probably sufficient to wipe out these freaking marine archers who have a completely different occupation. But yeah, we should just overwhelm these guys pretty steadily. Admittedly, smaller units do tend to last a little bit longer in the field, so we might hold out for a tiny bit, but yeah. At the end of the day, this battle, as fun as it was basically a foregone conclusion. So yeah, goodbye, Massalians. Ooh. I got some tea. I got some good old-fashioned tea on Insta just now. Could be fun to listen to. Well, there we have it. And I think we might actually be able... Occupy, loot, sack, raise. Why would I raise this? I think, like, it doesn't look like raise is actually useful, like, at all. But I think it's part of my win condition. So that's why I was, like, looking at it. Yeah, razor stack 5 different settlements. I mean, I'm shrugging because I just have to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't think that it's actually a useful feature because you don't get as much money as a loot. And you just kill off a bunch of people who literally, like, you captured the settlement, so they would be taxpayers in the near future. There's actually no benefit, and actually right now there's a bit of an issue because I need money to make some buildings here or else I'm gonna get slums. So yeah, I'll suck some money out of here. Let's put it into here.
Ready for battle.
Okay, then let's go back to that army. Don't really need to do anything else this turn, so let's go back to this army and try to maybe get some cheaper units. I don't know. Yeah, we can replace with more expensive modern Dacian fighters with some good old-fashioned Falksmen, you know? Nothing wrong about keeping the traditions alive. Yeah, we have a champion here. I guess he can move onwards to the last couple of Massalian settlements. Just kind of give me a good background on what's going on over here. And yeah, I don't know. Let's just quickly take stock of everything I have. I'm a spy deployed in northern Africa. That kind of does make sense. Wait. Now this guy should be activated. Give me some money. This guy should be upgraded. Perfect. Wait a minute, but this guy should be active. I was missing out on like $2,000 there.
How can I help? Moving unseen.
Go move the spy somewhere more useful. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. Don't really have any armies in useless places. Because after all, I do need an army to defend Sicily and keep it under control. I think I do have to have like one army in the Bosphorus, like an entire eastern flank of my empire would be horribly exposed without any protection. Although, if I get attacked by, say, the Germans, if they decide to run into Sarmatia, I'm fucked. Like, the Germans will just ravage a territory unstopped or unopposed until I come up with some sort of defensive army. Meanwhile, I'm also rather low on funds. I'm already taxing my people, not to the max, but the second highest rate of tax that you can levy in this game. So I don't really want to tax my people anymore. So I don't know, man. We were in a somewhat challenging position here. Okay, next turn we'll annihilate these stupid slaves. Pretty sure this is the building that I wanted. Now, the Bosphorus, I just want to go check whether we have invested. I mean, we have. We've wiped out all of the old Greek buildings, so we're good. Massalia, on the other hand, obviously, still pretty fresh, still pretty new.
Thirsty for battle. I am the one. Better get a shift on. Is there nothing else?
I mean, the Massalians are training some actually good troops here. I mean, they have their fucking 4X swords, their Romanized infantry. These guys, they can hit pretty hard, man. I mean, they're basically little Romans. Some of these buildings are just absolutely terrible. They are a nuisance to me. Just absolutely horrendous debuff in so many ways. Yeah, I have to be somewhat careful. Now, I'm pretty sure if I try to make peace with the Massalians, they may just give in because they are civilized people. Yeah. Greek and Eastern factions, they are the easiest factions to get a peace with. And wait a minute. Oh man, the Romans are actually drying up. Yo, I didn't think that this would happen because the Romans had the entire province of Hispania on lock, and my military ally, the Lusitanians, have popped off, and they only have a little island left, which makes sense. Like, Lusitania won't be able to match the Romans' naval supremacy, but I've never seen the Romans get smacked by an AI faction. And, well, here we go. They're getting smacked by an AI faction. ChatGPT's beating the Romans.
Get moving.
Didn't put that in the history books.
Ready for battle. On the move, lads. When your feet bleed, ready you can get moving, you wretches. But
yeah, I'm gonna go combine my two armies together, put them on, you know, a stance that'll actually boost public order, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And then I'll end the turn, because I don't think that I can actually properly invade the last settlement in Massalia without potentially having to fight those Romanized infantry next. They have like 2 full stacks of them. So if I just invade with one army and I just kind of let them divide my forces and then take them on one by one, it could end disastrously for me. So I'll be a little cautious and just wait one turn. It's not such a big deal.
I humbly ask that you at least...
Absolutely willing to do that. We're at war with the Romans. They are the client state of the Macedonians, whom I'm also defensive allies with. Literally no reason for me not to accept such a deal. It is a great deal for me. But also, it really looks like the Romans are getting pushed out of Hispania. It doesn't look like I even need to go in and take it. And there's no win condition for me to go fight the Romans in Hispania. So it really does look like it's to my advantage to kind of just like wait. Kind of just chill. Seems that way. Okay, some garrisons have lost men, not such a big deal. Yeah, let's go see. And the Roman army that was over here is moved to Thapsus. I don't know, I guess this is just a defensive army. It doesn't look like we're getting ready to attack, but they always could.
For the thirsty for battle.
I guess that the Germans always come with humongous armies, and also, who are they at war with at the moment? Suebi versus nobody. Lugos versus nobody. Ari versus nobody. Aseti versus... Dude, the Germans would have a single war to share between them. I don't know. A bunch of Germans that are bored. That doesn't exactly sound like the most peaceful situation. Could throw in a World War II joke there, but I think I'll hold off for now. Could be a bit of a mess, though. Could be a little bit of a mess for sure. Okay, I'll wait to do anything on that flank. You know what? But darn slave rebellion that I should be hammering. Let's go kill these guys first. Before we think of more robust, complicated things, let's go annihilate these pesky slaves who decided to turn against me, these prisoners of war. From Italy, probably. Sure, we've taken up the culture of the Illyrians with whom they've assimilated into, but ultimately, these, I mean, all the slaves I captured came from Roman territory as well. So these are Italic peoples. For the sake of the roleplay or whatnot. For the sake of immersion. I mean, that is the problem with being overly successful in ancient wars. You're probably taking a lot of slaves. Those slaves are probably not happy to be slaves. You don't have complex ways of keeping control of all of these captives, then they'll eventually not be controllable. Nobody quite likes a disposition of being a slave. It's not a preference for anybody. Yeah, we'll keep his army moving. It's a very professional, experienced army full of elite forces. This is probably the best army that I have. To go up against such a rabble. 8 melee attack, 8 melee defense. 26 charge is actually pretty good, but it's one higher than my Getae assault infantry, who have like almost double attack and defense. Like, it's just not a comparison versus what we're looking at simultaneously. I don't want my horsemen to get absolutely eviscerated by enemy missiles. That would be a waste of their talents. Have my heavy Getae assault infantry basically just charge straight through these javelins who, yeah, we're gonna start falling back. We'll have my assault infantry pound forward. These guys is gonna go in. Now, it would be preferable for me to get rid of the enemy skirmishers because they have the capacity to kill my falxmen in droves, I'll be honest.
Our general is under attack.
I think they did kill some falxmen, to be honest. But, it's okay. They didn't kill too many of them, and the enemy infantry is almost fled. Have to continue to order attacks.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And that should be it. As long as a general flees, should be a GG. That was like seeing like an old crumbling building getting hit by a bulldozer. But that is basically the fighting style of the Balkan people. Particularly Madricians and Dacians, but to some extent the Illyrians can pull it off too against a weaker opponent. The RDA are ultimately the weakest of the three Balkan factions. I digress. It is truly a marvel to see these endgame Dacian troops outwork about. They absolutely kill anything. with an efficiency that even the Romans can't really completely uphold, because you're not going to hit as hard on the charge either. But yeah, there we have it. That should restore income slightly, because having a slave rebellion raid your countryside with full impunity is pretty expensive at the end of the day. So it's pretty good that we managed to pull that off. It'll also help our food supplies replenish, just in general, a big W. But also, yeah, the Romans are not in Hispania, like outside of Baetica, like right here in Gadir, like right here. This is so far away from my territories. I mean, I had planned to invade the Romans through Hispania. That seems like that's not a thing anymore. That's not a thing at all. Meanwhile, for my win condition, I need 60 settlements. I have 45. I've got a lot of the settlements that I need already. Now, I don't have a lot of the provinces I need, to be fair. I still do need to take Thrace, which is going to bring me face-to-face against the Macedonians, who, while they are somewhat of an ally right now, I don't fully trust them, and I don't believe that they trust me in the slightest. We have an agreement right now for the sake of convenience rather than a genuine respect of each other.
For the tribe! Come, fight for us, lads!
I don't get as many of these as we can afford, but we can ill afford very many men at all right now.
For the tribe! Thirsty for battle!
Look at this rock, dude. Look at the rock getting shredded by the rain. Doesn't look at all like rain is falling on the rock. Looks like some sort of like power up that was going Super Saiyan.
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
It's a game from 2013, and I'm not playing it on the highest graphic settings either. It tends to feel a little bit chunky when I do. It's a little poorly optimized. Also, my PC is kind of so whatever busy. But yeah, the vast majority of the Massalian troops are going to be coming from here. This is the garrison, so I mean, this is like almost nothing. You know what? We'll have everyone rotate to face these guys, with the exception of 2 of these, which I'm gonna bring off to try to hunt down the men of the army.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
Falksmen!
I mean, the thing is that the enemy general is pretty slow, so my Falksmen will eventually catch up to them. Now, this warband is pretty fast, so it's a little bit of the opposite. But you know,
Orders! Elite cavalry!
send some cavalry to maybe help me with his hunt.
Warriors!
But also, if we get too close to the garrison, I'll have to call off the chase. You know what? Let's call off this unit, because they're only a little bit faster than the enemy general. We're about to get some javelin. It's gonna be a jav party. Not exactly what you want Falksmen getting hit by, but the armor of my bed saves them. Gonna take a single casualty, although health damage is guaranteed. But simultaneously, this warband gets charged by my general. Not exactly the best.
Our general is under attack.
For such a unit. 8 men. 8 brave Celts go down. And then it's going to be followed up by a vicious charge from my chosen Falconsmen. We're just going to go screaming into this lightly armed unit. They don't know what's about to hit these guys. My chosen Falconsmen, they're elite warriors. They're of the highest nobility. And yeah, we're just gonna savagely tear through this warband. Yeah, I think similarly to the Battle of Cynocephali, the skirmish is enticing the enemy to push forward here. A little bit of a historical parable there for you guys, but is the way it shall be. Skirmish unfolds into a full-blown meeting of men.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
Yeah, a warband we rout quite easily, as I assumed that we would. Now, yes, it's not really that smart to charge into hoplites when they're already formed up, but at the same time, I'm going to be charging into hoplites who are in.
One of our units is used all its ammunition.
They're garrison hoplites here, okay? They're not the best hoplites. The ones that we charge specifically, they should crumble regardless of what formation they're in. They're not professional soldiers. Well, we take care of the cavalry too. These Falconsmen, we do need to move forward though. See over here.
Infantry! Three spears! Infantry! Melee warriors! Yours to command!
Yeah, we have our heavy assault infantry as well as Freyo spears hunting down an archer. I wonder how that's gonna go. Very rhetorical question. Archer will get obliterated.
Run! Kill! Battle ready! They will bleed for us! Ready! Falksmen! Your orders? Infantry! Three spears!
Archer? Don't mind if I do.
Infantry!
It's weird how many enemy archers here are just kind of standing around and taking my charges, as if
Infantry!
the consequence of such a engagement is not obvious. A little bit bizarre. Simultaneously, we should have leader of the enemy garrison here.
Infantry!
I think it would actually be quite smart for me to isolate these two hoplites and then charge with center mass. Because my Getae assault infantry, they can handle this battle for like probably a good, I don't know, 30 minutes or something. Like they can stand up to hoplites, alright? Almost anything can. Okay, how far is this cavalry? Where am I? A different world. Also, I should really be charging into battle with these guys. Yeah, okay. The hoplites over here, just as I had planned, we annihilate them. Now we can go face down this blob. Yeah, now the hoplites, they will be going down.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Right here, a beautiful charge straight into the flank, and our men should be getting to work now. Performing their bloody occupation of being assault troops.
Ready for battle! Warriors!
Now his general may be somewhat more proficient, but he's a hoplite all the same. He's not going to stand up very well to being flanked. And this Greek militia obviously stands no chance.
Elite cavalry!
Yeah, as general, I mean, He's taking casualties despite his heavy armor, and now his men flee around him too. An obvious loss if I've ever seen one. What a quote there from Julius Caesar. To be fair, Shakespeare's play has really taken on, in the modern era, has really taken on, like, the myth. The myth of Julius Caesar. The whole, like, et tu Brutus type stuff, you know? Like, all of that, dude. All of that stuff. Has been thoroughly encroached upon.
Is that all? Ready for... That is impossible.
By Julius Caesar's plan. And it's like kind of blended into the reality. Julius Caesar never said et tu Brutus, at least as far as we're aware, you know? Maybe he did. Chances are pretty low though. Chances are very, 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 very low. It'll be quite the coincidence if he did. No, I have no capacity to recruit professional fleets anywhere. They never researched the technology, so let's keep this strategic port. And yeah, let's just invest all of this money into properly converting this into a Dacian province.
For the tribe! Thirsty for battle!
And yeah, I don't really want to make peace with the Massalians because that will lower my ethos in a public eye. Simultaneously,
For the tribe!
there we go. Let's just get a bunch of these warriors. They should be sufficient. And then let's also go ahead and just see what our treaties say. I mean, we have non-aggression and trade with virtually all of these peoples.
Come, come, let me hear your talk. We will walk different roads then.
We can go break such a pact, and you know, I think 5 turns in order to get within position to attack them should be sufficient. So I do want to have kind of a bridgehead into Thrace. We need Thrace. Thrace is one of the required provinces for us to conquer. So who am I to dispute the wisdom of attacking?
War! Our gods demand it. Our ancestors love it. You, I expect...
The people of Britain have grown fond of a Dacian treasure. They want to covet it. They want to take it for themselves. Well, I'll show those damn British what we're made out of.
I do not hold with the overlong tongue.
And yeah, I don't know if I really want to improve relations with Darverdi. I might take them on. We'll see. I think our only northern territory that's a requirement for me to take is Swabia, which will require taking a lot more German territory to get to it. Swabia is like all the way in the north, so there's like a couple of provinces between me and Swabia. The good thing is the Germans are not at all united, so maybe I can target a weaker people like the Lugi or the Seti before I go up against the Swebi, but I don't know, man. I'll have to move my troops like to Raieta et Noricum and then figure out a strat. Right now, I am in a very preliminary stages of planning such a campaign.
I'm going.
It does look like the Massalians got into a battle, though, and it looks like they got absolutely wrecked.
Warriors Warriors all thirsty for battle. Laying siege to their hovels.
Yeah, it looks like I could just whatever. End it. Liberate it. Love it. Kill it. Goodbye, Massalia. I know, kind of an anticlimactic end to a storied faction, but definitely the most prudent way for me to get rid of these guys. Simultaneously, let's keep our army here for just a turn in order to try to maintain a little bit of discipline here. You know what? Let's go remove this, because for long-term provincial prosperity, it would be best to have a public order building here. Simultaneously, we can do this. Yeah, I think that type of investment is going to be best. Meanwhile, we have this army over here. If I want to invade Polpadeva, it makes sense for me to get back to Dacia with this army. How about this force? We don't have a skirmisher to our name in this force, so let's get two of these Sarmatian archers. They are elite. To be honest, I could just get attacked from Scythia. But you know what? I think I'll just get rid of these and build something that'll actually make me money. I might regret it though. I'm gonna be honest. That might be a mistake, but I'm gonna try. Let's do this for public order. Romans not really building up to attack Sicily just yet. I mean, from what I see, this appears to be the best course of action that I've taken, but I'm not so sure. I mean, this is Swabia already, like right here. Swabia only have one settlement in Swabia. They have some parts of Hyrenesia. Nothing in Germania Minor. Dude, does Swabia have like nothing? Well, no wonder their balance of power is not that good. They have an army in every city. I didn't realize they barely have any cities. Kind of makes such a display of force a lot less effectual, I can tell you that.
Your men will turn the enemy.
Okay, let's see what else lurks around the corner here. Man, this isn't even an army, this is a navy. boys are gonna be drowning as they try to swim away. Damn. You have war horses? I just wonder whether the 2 charge bonus is for all horsemen or just the ones in the province. So you know what, I'll just go for the regular. I'm just not entirely sure. I think it's for all though. Usually it specifies if it's just provincially. Nothing on the Roman watch. They just have 1 army, I have 1 army here. It's just kind of a lookout for each other type thing, I think. But anyway, yeah, I think that this is it.
Words can be all that is between people, but we would like...
Got to do a trade agreement with those guys. Silly me. I mean, they're an ally. Of course, a vaunted ally should have access to our goods. But let's see what else we can accomplish here. I mean, first of all, you know, Latium should be taxed extra hard. I don't know why we're not taxing these people. I mean, come on. I've had 2. It's an oversight, a grave oversight. Spontaneously, we absolutely do not need such a thing here. In fact, I'm not so sure whether the income from Magna Graecia is not so great, so let's just tax these people.
Tribe! Get moving! Thirsty for getting on our way!
Is it all fucking provinces? Man, unless I know it's all provinces, it's just not worth getting. Get the sewage ditch. You know, we have to have some ability to manage sewage here. Come on. That much should be obvious. And yeah, we have our 2 armies close to each other here. Let's kind of ready them up for an assault on the Thracians, and then... You know, I was thinking about positioning these 2 armies towards the north and maybe taking on... Maybe taking on the... Fuck, what are they called? The Suebi. But you know what? Perhaps an attack on the Romans might actually be on the cards. I mean, think about it.
will be left behind, ready for when you're
We have our one navally effective settlement right here. And we can get a reasonably strong navy going and then just attack Roman Alalia. Which is not exactly the most profitable province to hold, but at the same time, it's a massive security risk to have the Corsicans in Sicilians, the Corsicans in Sardinians, right at our doorstep, constantly. I mean, it's just like having an aircraft carrier.
My people
right
are in
off the
danger.
coast.
Can you not join with us?
Right off your coast. You know, it's my Taiwan. And it would be smart to just get rid of them, especially when I have armies in the area.
The skill.
And I have the naval capacity to probably like get there, you know? But I did forget about some slubs. God damn it. Okay, yeah, I forgot that I did this. 500, 1,000 loss. Rip. Literally just a debuff with the slums. Yeah, these guys are on... Not really on my territory, kind of on my territory? I don't even know. No, these guys went to war. With my ally. I wasn't even notified. I don't know, if we're at war with my ally, should I be willing to tolerate such a thing, or should I just go and kill them?
Fleet ready! We need good, strong men!
I'm honestly not so sure.
Ready
What I do
for
know is that this
orders.
army is more than sufficient to take the Roman territories in Sicily. I think next turn will begin that particular adventure. What about the Thracians? I had a peace treaty with Tylus.
Welcome. Speak. Come on. Do not waste time. Better spend it hunting.
Warriors all! Besieging settlement! Ready for battle! Move out!
Now we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's gonna take a turn. There's nothing else for me to do this turn. Antigonus crossing my territory. The Romans built a naval unit near Alalia. That's actually... Huh. They seem to be responsive to the creation of my petulant little fleet. And the Romans, I saw a lot of them moving like towards North Africa too, and ooh. So the Massalians getting on land, that actually does make my life a little bit easier. Now we can just take him out with my armies without having to deal with this whole naval chase, whatever. Looks like my ally in Gallia fought against enemy Verid. Enemy actually just straight up confronts me. Now I'm looking at the enemy forces, and they're not bad, but they're also kind of lacking sophisticated late game troops. I'm seeing seeing a lot of like light. I think these are just like light spearmen. These Agrionians, they're like phenomenal early game troops, but they're a little bit dated by the end game. They don't have armor in great amounts. Their charge bonus is good, but then their attack stat is just like normal. Now these troops up here most look like more of the late game, but they're just outnumbered by what I have. Enemy has no cavalry either, which is definitely a negative when you're up against a lot of cavalry that can easily outmaneuver you. And those spears should go down to my Falxmen with ease. I mean, the enemy definitely has more of a hill, but they attacked me, so I can play more defensive, and then there will go their hill advantage. So you know what? I'm just gonna deploy kind of a blob, kind of a identity-less blob, because my reinforcements are about to come, and I can just make one big army.
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
One large cascading army. And we should be able to better defend against the enemy with such a force. Let's go get my Getae heavy assault infantry assembled as a single line right here. My missiles will go right behind them.
Move out!
I remember reading on the Total War forum that this like spears on the flank, swords in the middle type formation is kind of like the missionary of Total War, you know, just not a lot of creativity there, very vanilla. They're right, but there's a reason why people do it. Gets the job done. Except I'm not using spears on my flanks, I'm using Falxmen. So instead of having the dependable presence of spearmen, typically resolute and stable, infallible force, type that won't exactly kill the most, but they'll hold the flanks. And you know what, if they go up against cavalry, they will start murdering the cavalry with great speed. But no, we're gonna have Falxmen instead. The great disruptors of history. Yeah, we should be fully formed by the time the enemy... So maybe the right flank will still be running into position, but... And my center line is almost here. My skirmishers are arriving. Yeah, we'll be nice and ready, and the enemy won't because their second army is still trailing. They seem to be committing. Because I have these Sarmatian archers, basically Scythians, right? Nomadic archers. With great distance, of great range, and the enemy is using Thracian peltas, they're going to have to commit to the charge here because we're going to be bombarding the enemy with arrows. 5 units of elite archers, that's a lot. Yeah, we'll be letting these guys have it. These archers shoot really, really quickly too, so Thracians are going to start dropping if they don't run. I don't know why the skirmish cavalry decided to venture so close, but I'm not gonna complain. And yeah, these Thracians, I mean, they're throwing javelins, they're getting kills, but they're dying in droves simultaneously. Yeah, I don't know why this cavalry decided to go, but obviously we're not really a match for heavy Getae assault infantry, so... Yeah, these skirmishers, they're brave! Brave young men who... fucked up. Who definitely fucked up. That's what they did. these guys are getting really overextended.
Our general is under attack.
Infantry! Warriors ready!
But yeah, I do need to start
Ready for
moving my men.
They will flee for us!
Moving my men a little bit more efficiently and yeah, I don't know. Like, I do want to wipe out the enemy skirmishers. I also don't want my horse archers to get wrecked.
Heavy cavalry! Macaco!
Enemy peltas won't die with the same speed either.
Infantry!
I mean, there's just a lot of squishy units floating around here too. If I just run my infantry in, if they hit like an archer, great. If they hit a infantry unit, also works. Problem is that inevitably some horse archer will just end up fighting like a spear unit or something and just get wrecked. But yeah, let's just go all in.
The men
here.
are wavering.
I know if I go all in, someone's gonna get shit on, but also we're gonna win in totality. You can see that, like most of the Getae army at this point is running. Like they just don't want to be here.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Yeah, generally we're not as ashamed as the Boei at this point, bro. Look at them. Look at those guys.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Look at these fools. Look at these dudes. These boys.
Infantry! Bow horsemen! Battle ready!
And we just caught the enemy general too.
An entire unit has perished.
Pretty much it. This is pretty much a done deal. See nothing but destruction painting the field. The few men who are left standing for the Boei, I do so out of stupidity rather than any effective chance of winning. And there are still some skirmishers who just get to be caught by my swift horsemen.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
I mean, anything that stands against me is losing decisively. But I should just continue hunting the enemy skirmishers down. There's no point of allowing him to shoot while the Boei infantry makes their ill-fated last stand here. And yet a few infantrymen who have yet to disintegrate entirely were just simply chasing down and slaughtering with full impunity. Yeah. The fields are painted with the blood of the Boei as they try to defend their newfound homes in Thrace, but are obliterated by my men. What an easy victory for myself and for my people. A W like no other, as some would say. I kind of do need the money. It's all ransom captives. Missing supplies? Unrest? Damn. Light has befallen us. Great, great, grave light. I'll just get a couple of economic buildings here. No need to overthink it. Simultaneously, problem is that all of these things increase upkeep, and I don't really have the funds to facilitate this extra cost. I don't know. -3 construction cost is pretty bad. It's not really a benefit. I mean, plus 4% tax rate actually will improve my finances dramatically, so it's not really an issue. But yeah, let's make this the last turn that we play out for now. Oh my god, I'm getting a call from nowhere. That was so scary. Hello?
A low-intensity conflict has been going on the Israeli-Lebanese border for months. Israel and Hezbollah have been shelling and launching...
What the heck? What a random slew of events. Okay, well, I got a scam call from fake Talos. From Armstrong, British Columbia. Definitely not anywhere in British Columbia a person was calling from, I can tell you that. You know, it's actually kind of bizarre, right? That, like, these scammers, they... Like, it's bizarre, but they haven't figured out that unless the call is coming from Vancouver, it's a scam. Because, like, when you're assigning a locality to a phone number, like as a telecommunications worker, like if you work for TELUS or whatever, like when you're assigning a locality, the only one that you put is Vancouver. You don't put any of the other ones because the numbers are not actually assigned to like a specific area, like a local place. Like they're assigned to the province. Don't get me wrong, but you can put any place. It doesn't matter. So everyone just puts Vancouver, and the scammers will call you from like a random city of like 2,000 people that you've never heard of. Like that's the locality they'll choose, and it just immediately makes your BS meter go off because you know for a fact that like this person is not fucking calling you from like 1,000 Mile or 100 Mile House or whatever it is, or Armstrong, like some village basically. So weird because they're just calling you off a computer anyway, so they can put anything that they want, but they don't pay attention, so they just put that shit. But anyway, I'm not gonna play this battle all too carefully because I don't need to. His army has been decimated by attrition. You don't have any supplies. Numbers are dwindling.
The battle is turning in our
More or
favor.
less assaulting a line of vagrants at this point. Not some proud people. I know we might take a couple of casualties on the assault. We still have javelins. We still have the capacity to fight. But we will plow into their lines nonetheless. Go get my Faustmen assembled on the flank, where they'll do their best work inevitably. My cataphracts, they can go 2 and 1, just make it ultra safe.
Elite cavalry! Infantry!
Our general is under attack.
Meanwhile, my Getae infantry, they can just kind of slowly crawl into the enemy here. Massalian nobles, it's actually a decent unit. It's actually a very decent unit, but they're surrounded by my cataphracts, so they will go down. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get some chosen Falconsmen to rush the flank here. We're going to be going up against very lightly armed Massalians, so should be absolutely fine.
Real horse archers! Infantry!
Battle ready! Advance at speed!
Battle ready! Warriors eager for blood! One of our units has used all its ammunition. Forward! Real horse archers!
Go, my cataphracts have just hunted down some allied Gallic archers, and now enemy lines will disintegrate. They're getting outflanked, assaulted from the front by elite warriors, and in general, slaughtered with ease, some might say. Obliterated. Simply wiped off the map. Now, some of the Romans did make this. The thing is that I can literally just drop my soldiers off in like a turd. Be really, really, really easy to do such a thing.
For the tribe! Ready for battle!
I mean, it looks like I'll have to use this army just because of its movement speed.
Call this a garrison?
But we can have these guys tread some water. That's what I like to call it when they try to recruit more men. I don't know. Is there any area of recruitment troops that can replace these somewhat damaged units? I mean, I'm just not seeing anything overly good. It's gonna take me 4 turns to get the Celto-Hellenics back. Too bad, the Celto-Hellenic assault infantry are genuinely good troops. But alas, we're out of my reach temporarily, so I have to do without them. Well, you know what? The army I have there is sufficient. Like, it's not ideal, but it is sufficient.
For the tribe.
So, I don't need to, like, really think about it all that much. Can just, like, go for it. Yeah, let me just kind of go in here, get rid of these guys.
Thirsty for battle.
Gonna have to completely rebuild this settlement. But yeah, we got through it. We get through the Tylicians with ease. And we'll look towards our next conquest of this brutal region soon enough. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for now, boys. I mean, look, it was a pretty effective stream. We managed to conquer Narbonnes in its entirety, destroyed a Massalian faction. We got through Tylus, and it got our foothold in Thrace, which is a necessity for us to win the campaign. So, not too bad at all. I mean, honestly, we're only 12 settlements away. It's actually not too bad. We're guaranteed to take 3 more here in Thrace, and in Swabia, that's 4. So, due to mandatory settlements we have to take, there's really only 5 additional ones that we're going to need. Now, we need to sack or raise some settlements. I could just do that at random. It's not really a problem. Maintaining 240 units, that's going to be a problem. Because I have half of that and I'm broke. So I'm going to have to spam the shittiest, cheapest units possible for me to hit that. But it's still going to be kind of hard to get to. I'm going to be real. Now, what can I do? The way the game is, I don't understand why it even has to be a win condition. It's like the most bureaucratic one, the most just on paper, get it done one. But whatever, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the future.